Hello everyone. This is going to be a what I eat in a day on a film set. So recently I was an extra on this particular film set for a couple of days, and I'll show you what you get to eat. It can be pretty crappy because they are of the mindset of the standard American diet. This is the craft table I'm showing you, which extras get to eat from. Usually it has peanut butter, jam, bread. That's like that Coffee Mate crap. I bring my own creamer. That is our breakfast meal, which of course was something with eggs and processed cheese. That's the vegetarian option. The non-vegetarian also had bacon or sausage on it, so I couldn't eat it. So there's bread here, peanut butter, jam, and fruit. So I definitely took some apples and oranges, and that's what I ate to start my day because there was really nothing else. Now, this was what was for lunch the day before. They had, I guess, the Eve's chicken, meatless chicken, with some sort of a mushroom rice there. It was absolutely delicious. And here's what's interesting. I guess a lot of people were picking up this chickenless stir fry because it looked great. And at one point, when the director passed through to pick some up, the caterer said, "Oh, that's not real chicken." And the director asked, "Well, what is it?" And he explained it in this really awful way, like, "Oh, it's some sort of fake tofu chicken stuff," and the director immediately put it down. And I said, you should not have explained it like that. He probably would have loved it. You could just see the bias against anything that was faux meat. But for lunch, they do have to provide a vegan option, or at least more than one vegan option. I'll get into lunch a little bit later, but I'll tell you, that was some good food right there. Now, this is just me getting my makeup done.
I was waiting because we were getting behind because just the two of us.
I feel cheated today. Yesterday I felt like I was the star. No, just kidding.
Well, you are the star.
Now, on every set, you're supposed to get a hot snack before lunch called a substantial. Well, today's was definitely not vegan, and I asked if I could get something different. Here's what happened. Okay, things just got a little intense. One of the ADs went to ask if they could get some for me because I'm vegan, and then someone else mentioned they were lactose intolerant. And it turns out they were asking someone from the craft truck who was vegan, but then someone else from the craft truck came at that moment, and she was all upset and irritated. She can't serve this. People complain if she gives bread. People complain about gluten. And I tried to mention to her that the lactose intolerance is a very big deal. It's bigger than celiac, etc. And then she said, "Well, I heard that the person's vegan." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm vegan." I said, "So I'm not really arguing for myself. I'm just sort of arguing in general. Every breakfast sandwich has cheese on it." And that's when the other guy pointed that he was vegan and he understood. I guess he's just cooking what they tell him to cook. So I'm having peanut butter and another orange. I'm dealing with it as we vegans do. And if you couldn't quite hear me, essentially one of the assistant directors asked someone from the craft truck if he could get me something different because I'm vegan. The assistant director was awesome, and it turned out that he asked a man from the craft truck who was vegan, but it was his very first day on the film set, and he was prepared to get me something until his boss from the craft truck came over, and she got very upset, seemed to take it personally, and said she can't, make different things for this. People complain if she gives bread. People complain about all this stuff. And I said, well, you know what? Gluten insensitivity is a lot smaller than lactose intolerance, and everything you guys serve seems to have cheese on it. She wasn't hearing it, and the craft guy wasn't able to get me something else. And even the AD asked, well, what if he brings me some fruit from their special table? And she said, well, you can if you want, but I really wouldn't like you to do that. So it's like, you know what? She seemed to have a personal problem with the fact that I was vegan. So I ate some peanut butter and another orange. Just a bit of the set. Shh, don't tell anyone. Now, in the container is the substantial. It was something with cheese on it, like a macaroni cheese. So here's the other stuff, and I'm just eating something else because I need to survive. Now, this is the lunch spread that's been set up before lunch. So there's a myriad of salads and always many options for food. I just kind of breeze through here. There's always some veggies, but it looks like there's fish. That's the tofu. Rice, broccoli, I think. They have definitely vegan options, and some of the salads have cheese and stuff on there, but others don't. Of course, the desserts are never vegan except the fruit. I always go for the fruit. Nice, healthy, delicious. Okay, so now we have broken for lunch, and basically I'm just here trying to go through the lunch line with my phone camera, just kind of trying to surreptitiously tape things so people don't really know what I'm doing. Whatever. So I'm just getting myself some salad, skipping all the meat. So are these my vegan options?
Vegan option. Tofu.
Sticky rice.
Sticky rice.
My daughter loved the mushroom one.
The bok choy is fine. The cauliflower is fine.
Is there what's on the cauliflower, like a sweet and sour-ish sort of?
No, it's like a paprika, salt, pepper. Maybe that's it. That one I didn't make. The pasta.
What did you make?
I made beef, I made the chicken, I made the tofu, I made the bok choy.
Do you guys make the pasta? I mean, this pasta doesn't have to have egg in it. Are you sure that pasta has egg? Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, it doesn't have to. There's a lot that... Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. I'm grilling him. I told him it could be... What about the desserts? Not today, right? No one went to work on figuring out how to make some cookies without eggs and actual butter. Coconut oil. Coconut oil it tastes delicious. You don't even taste the difference. And there's no more fruit. Oh, there's no more fruit.
Yeah. You around tomorrow?
I don't know. Are they here? Are they back here?
No, we're at the studio.
Yeah, then I might not be. So so tomorrow. Tomorrow's when the vegan desserts are coming. Is that signed? Vegan desserts tomorrow? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There's no
Thank you, sir.
So because the day before I had spoken to the caterer about vegan options, today when I went back up to kind of refill my to-go container so I could take some of the tofu home, he asked me why I was vegan. Was it for health, etc.? And I told him originally I was interested in it for health, but I soon became concerned with the animals, the environment, and I told him there are so many wonderful options, especially for baking and different food options. I talked to him about aquafaba and how I made a beautiful aquafaba meringue pie, and I showed him the picture. I still owe you guys that recipe, by the way. When I told him about the environmental impact of animal agriculture, someone else was in line who's not vegan, but understands and had seen Cowspiracy, but the caterer was like, "Oh, that's all propaganda," kind of jokingly. And I said, "Well, actually, it's all, research done by the WHO. It's not propaganda." I said, maybe you could try eating some vegan stuff. And he said, he loves meat too much. And I said, but you never know. There's so many wonderful things you could try. And I even told him about the carefully crafted vegan mayo, like just different options. So he was interested, and hey, you know what? Hopefully I planted a few seeds. Just by what I was eating, the caterer was curious, and he struck up this conversation with me. So, always be prepared to answer the questions people have about why you're vegan and to give different suggestions. When they use their mayo, they obviously use conventional mayo, but Hellmann's now, with their carefully crafted, there are so many things that could be veganized to make it more appealing for a lot of people on set without cholesterol. I was really impressed with the one guy behind me because he got the tofu, and he has said he's cut down his meat consumption drastically because he saw Cowspiracy. So he's a reducitarian, while he has not given up meat completely. I think he said he eats meat once a week. He completely gets the environmental argument and even the health argument and feels it's better to eat more plant-based for all reasons. So he's one of those people who's not afraid to do that. That's also something I mentioned to the caterer, that you could always even just cut down on the meat that you eat based on the environmental impact. And I did leave him with the movies to watch: Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, etc. Okay, what I got. Delicious, some sort of ginger tofu. It tastes the cauliflower. Now at the end of the day, someone offered me some of these chips, but guess what? There's milk in it. Why is there milk in everything? Now when I got home that night, which was kind of late, I warmed up some of the faux chicken from the set the day before. I mean, this stuff was good. The rice was just delicious. And that's what I ate that day, guys, on a film set. I'm going to do another one of these soon.